Hi everyone, this is Venkat. In this video, I will show how to deploy Sitecore 10 XP1 on AKS, Azure Kubernetes Services. This is the container-based deployment process, where you have the CI and CD pipelines. In this video, whatever the steps we will use for the CD pipelines, I will be going to be run from my local and deploy the vanilla version of the Sitecore on the AKS. I will make another video, directly jump onto the Azure DevOps, build the CI and CD pipeline to deploy the custom applications on the AKS. And I have a few slides. I will go through that one, then I will directly jump onto the deployment. The first one is, what is the Kubernetes? This is just a definition. I will took it from the Kubernetes side. It is a Kubernetes is from the Google. Like they introduced in the middle of the 2014, and first version came in the 2015. And it is an open source platform for managing containerized workloads and services. And why should we go for the Kubernetes? Currently, I think most of the productions of the Sitecore is in the Azure App Services. The reason is, you can see the below one from the Gartner, the prediction. By 2022, more than 75% of global applications and will be going to be run in the containerization. Currently, it is the around 30%. If I coming to the advantages of the Kubernetes, it has the huge ecosystem. So if you face any issue, you can get the help from the community. And many of the cloud services offer the Kubernetes based platform. So currently, like AKS is from the Azure. Later on, I want to move to the Google Cloud or Amazon. You can move it easily. And it is a future-proof solution. That means previously we have on-premises, then move to the Azure VM, then Azure App Services. This is the future-proof solution, Kubernetes. Coming to the disadvantages, it can be overkilled for simple application. That is sure. And the second one is the transition to the Kubernetes can be cumbersome. Yes, everyone like the developer need to be upskilled to the Kubernetes to understand how it will work. The last one is the Kubernetes is very complex and can reduce the productivity. This point is in terms of currently you have a production environment, it have the many external internal dependencies. Now you need to figure out in the Kubernetes world how to resolve those all. K8s. This is the simple form of the Kubernetes. Kubernetes have the 8 letters. So that is what like a K8s simple form. And left hand side is the advantage of the Kubernetes. And second one is the AKS additional features providing on the top of the K8s. Okay. This is the Kubernetes concepts where you have the Kubernetes has a cluster have the multiple nodes, each node have the pods, containers, and by default if you create a AKS you will get the Docker or Kubelets by default. Okay, just I will explain these concepts while we are deploying. And this is the ingress is the additional one, like just like in the local environment we will use the traffic, and in the AKS we will use the replacement is the ingress. It will resolve like your domain resolution as well as the SSL. So now these are the AKS prerequisites. If I want to deploy from the local environment, like you need to be install the Azure CLI and Kubelet, and we need to be download the K8s scripts from the Sitecore and MVP site also, repo also I'm downloading. Just I will show why I'm downloading this one. Okay, let's start. I log into the virtual machine. Apart from AKS prerequisite, just I install the Visual Studio Code, that is the one. And even you don't require the Docker for desktop. You may be asked another question is like, can I set up Kubernetes for the Sitecore on the local machine? My answer is no. The reason I will tell that one, if I look into the Docker, like if it is, and if I currently see this one, this Docker is pointing to the Windows containers. So if I go to the settings, so here you don't have any Kubernetes enabled here. So I will try to be switched to the Linux containers. Now go to the settings. Now if you see, you have the Kubernetes installed, and if you try to be check this one and apply and restart. So it will be create a single node cluster of the Kubernetes. That means Kubernetes is enabled for the Linux containers. Sitecore is a Windows containers, so you can't set up on the local. Let's go and install the Azure CLI. Just I want to check it is exist on local. So it is not there. Then go to the Azure CLI, download Windows, click on here, click on the current release. So install the MSI. Installation is completed. I will go and check here. So just I will close the PowerShell and reopen. So now you can see it is recognizing it installed successfully. The kubectl. So if I see here, and you can go with the two ways, like the second way also chocolates or scoop. Just I'm clicking on this one. And so first of all, you need to be install the chocolates. You can go either of the approach. So I'm going with this one. First installing the chocolate. Click on the install. Let's see here. Try to be run this PowerShell script. I'm copying now. So I'm trying to be run this one. It is saying that one it is already installed. So just type as a Choco. So this is a Choco version is there. And try to be run this Choco installed Kubernetes CLI. Coming here and try to be run this one. So it is installed. Whether it is there or not, kubectl. So it is exist. So the next one is go to the Sitecore GitHub container deployment. So this is the where you can download it, but I will recommend to go to the Sitecore downloads. The option is the container deployment package. Click on this one. So this will also go into the specific release. If you see the repo type, Sitecore container deployment, the same thing I opened. From here, if you click on the releases, you have the so many releases are there. Like this will be pointing to the specific one, Sitecore container deployment. Okay. So I will be go and download this source code. So this is done. Another one is I will directly go to the So this is the Sitecore GitHub MVP site. I am downloading this one. So I will mainly look for this format, actually the folder structure KS8. So both are downloaded. So what I will do is I will go and create a folder in the C drive. So if I come into these downloads, this is the MVP site one. If I go to the internal, the folder structure is, if you see at the root level, they put it as a K8s and that have the specs and this PowerShell. I want this PowerShell. Okay. Within the spec, you have all the files are there. Okay. What I will do is I will take this K8s folder structure, go to my C drive projects. I will put it here. Okay. So I will go to this, I want this PowerShell, okay. I will go to the spec, I will try to be delete these all. Then I will go to the downloads and this container deployment. Just I'm going inside, this is the K8s, okay. Go inside and I want a 10.1 and I'm going to be deploy the XP1. Like copy. I can copy XP1. Open the folder in the Visual Studio Code. So this is the folder structure. The script is we copied from MVP and the rest of the things we copied from the Sitecore downloads. The script also why we downloaded is, if you look into this, the Sitecore portal AKS, if you search for this one, they will try to be refer the MVP site example. So if you want to be any AKS related one, you can get it from this repo. Okay. Now that is what one we copied this one. Now what we will be going to do is, the first one we will try to be create a AKS environment by running the script. The second one is We will try to be like deploy the secrets. That is the second one. The third one is after deploying the secrets, we will deploy the external services. That means the data services. That may be MS SQL and Redis and Solar. And after that one, we need to be initialize the data for those data services. That is the next one. And after that, like we will need to be run all the like our actual application services, that is CDCM, Cortex and XGB related stuff. Okay, this is the sequence we are going to be execute now. It's like these steps whatever we discussed already, like I find another repo. So if I see this one, Sitecore Symposium 2020, actually they showcased this one. I like this script actually, like we don't need to be define our own, it's already there and we can modify as per our needs. So but this is they're using like XM1, but this script is useful. So what I will do is we can download it and we will put it in our repo. If I already downloaded that one just now and the unzip that one, and these scripts what I will do is I will be going to be, and at the same level I will try to be create one more folder scripts, and I will put all these all. First, these is the steps what we just now we discussed that one, the same steps they defined here. Okay, now what I will do is there are the certain configuration changes we need to do for these YAMLs. I will do offline, then because it will take longer time the video, so I will do offline, and once I completed, like I will compare the old version and what I changed that one, then try to be follow the steps. Okay, let's pause the video. I modified the script. Now we will run the first step one. So if I see here, just I copied this is the original one, old one, and this is the modified one. Just I want to compare what I changed that one. Part of the step one, if I see the create AKS script, if I see the input parameters, I changed that one, like what is my region and resource group and content registry. Apart from that one, only the one change I done is the size of the virtual machine. This is very important. If you are working on the demo, like DS8 is a very costly, so better you go with the D4S. Okay, this is the one. And next one is, if you observe here, it is expecting these register resource group and container registry should be already exist on the Azure. I added another script just to create the resource group and the container registry. This is a script. So I will run this one as a first, that is a second. So the similar pattern of this one, if you see, I am running of step 1 and step 2. So open the PowerShell in the admin mode and go to your directory. And now just before running to your script, to your Azure. It logged into the Azure. So first I am running the dependence one. The script is completed. Let's go and verify here. Now new resource group is created. If I go inside of this one, so we have the new container registry is there. Now in this demo we are not using this one, but part of the script just I executed. Try to be execute the main one, create AKS. So while it is executing, like I will try to be cover what is the inside of this create AKS. So the step 1 is the like setup of the CLI and parameter of the AKS creation. If you leave it here, the second one is the main one is the create the Azure Kubernetes services. If I see here, it is passing the AKS version, that is we are getting here. So this parameter will try to be detect what is the latest version the Azure supports, the same version we are going to be create here. And region, everything will be there. And if you see here, it is also using the virtual machine scale set this role. Another one is that this is the resource group. So to create the AKS, like it have the load balancer, so many other resources are there. All the resources will be moved to the separate resource group. It will be created dynamically with this one and it will move there. The next one is this AKS will be get the permission for the container registry whenever we want to deploy the custom images, okay, to access of this one. So this is the role management, like access permission it will give here. The next one is we are adding the Windows servers node pool. This is the where I modified this one like D4.8, the size of that one. The next one is the authentication of the AKS instance to my local. So let's wait until the AKS is created, because it will take around I think 4 to 5 minutes. Script is completed. If I look into the Azure portal, if I look into the resource group, okay, the Kubernetes service is created. So the rest of the resources will be found in another resource group. That naming convention is exactly like the resource group name underscore AKS and backend. Okay, if I look into here, you can find the rest of the resource groups here. If you see the public IP and network security group, virtual machine scale set and load balancer, everything. Okay, now if I go to here, open the Kubernetes service. The first one is the namespace, and you can also check the versioning here. So what is the version of currently the Kubernetes service is there, and click on the namespace, and these are the default namespaces you will get it. If you try to deploy without creating anything, it will go to this default namespace, but part of the demo we are going to be create one staging namespace. This namespace is a logical group. You can create multiple namespaces. Click on the workloads. This is the, you can find the different tabs. One is the deployment. These are all the existing deployments in the specific namespace. You can see this one. Click on the ports. This is where we will going to be talk more about this one. And these are the different containers are running, and those are in the different namespaces. Okay. Click on the jobs. There is no jobs. This is the one. Move to the services and ingress. And these are the different services already there. This is the ingress. Nothing is here. And this is a storage. Any storage volume if you mount it like it, we can find it here. And coming to the configurations, this is the main one is a secret. Already these are the different secrets already, the different namespaces, but we will deploy our secrets to our custom namespace, that is a staging. Okay, so coming to here, the step 2, I will be going to be deploy these secrets. So I will show that one what I modified. This is the original one. This is the right hand side is my changes. If I click on the secret, if I see the first one is the TLS. Already like we have 3 folders. I removed that one. If you have the different certificate for each CDCMC ID, you can put it that one. But I removed these folders and created one folder, staging one, and I put the TLS certification and key, that one. I will talk more about this one at the time of the ingress. Okay, the next one is the customization. This is nothing, I did not change anything. These references I removed and I linked to the staging one. The next one is all the passwords. If you see this, if you see the majority of the passwords, and if I click on the one password, the same password I used for everything, and the rest of the passwords and the elastic pool name, you can give it some pool name. So wherever the blank values are there, I give this one identity secret and password licensing file here. And if I see the like keys, anything is missing, I given this one. Okay, this is the only I done. Now if I go back here to the scripts, actually I'm not installing the step 3 as per the script. What the step 3 is the installing the tools is the Helm. The Helm is a package manager for the Kubernetes. For the .NET, we have the NuGet package manager. The similar way for the Kubernetes, it is the Helm. Because I'm not installing this one. If you want, like, you can install it. And this the fourth step is the create a nginx. You can create it, but I will run these steps like after the last, when we are resolving the ingress. Okay, now I am running on the step 5 now, indirectly creating my own custom namespace and deploying my secret there. First of all, I will try to be connect to my like newly created AKS. But this step already executed part of this. See this one, line number 66, that is the same, but I am rerunning again. Okay, so I am passing the resource group name and my AKS name. So it was connected now here. So that configuration, the credentials, everything, it will be put into here. So from now onwards, anything you are executing the commands now, they're directly executing against the my newly created AKS. Okay, the next command I will be going to be created is the set aliasing from the kubectl, because if you see kubectl, for every time I need to type the kubectl. So instead of that one, I want to type as a k. So for this one, I will run this just set aliasing for my kubectl. Okay, so now this is done. Now if I type as a k, still I will get the same thing. Now I will be going to create a namespace and create namespace staging. I'm going to be create now. You see this staging is created. Where you can see is, if you see here, like the namespaces, you can find the staging one. One more thing is I am setting now is my current context is pointing to the default namespace, that is the this namespace. Now I want to switch to this namespace, so anything I am running the command, it will be deployed to the staging. Otherwise, for every command I need to specify the namespace. Okay, so just I am running this one. Now if I see here, the context is like modified by pointing to the my stage. So cd spec xp1. Now so if I see this one, this is a structure. Now you need to be running a command like apply the bake. So for this one, like a k apply hyphen like k, and you need to be provide the secrets. Okay, just I am executing now. So all secrets are like created. So if I go and see here in my configurations, I can check it in the secrets. See here, I will change my namespace. See all these, I deployed all these are all within the namespace. And you can also check if I click on the, this is the groupical structure of that one. So if I see here, Sitecore databases, these are the passwords, these are all is there. If I see, if you click on here, you can see the password. So after this one, you deploy the external one. So like I will say -f in this case. Previously we used -k. So and next one is external. Okay. So if I run here, what it will done is it created a service and deployed a service. So if I see what changes I done for the external, the first one is on the, if I see it on the right hand side, I removed this one. The next one is if I go into the MS SQL, so just I add a load balancer one. So another change I done is but I don't know why it was the Linux was there in the default script, but I changed it to the Windows, and the image, it is MS SQL was there. Just I changed it to the my MS SQL server, and just I added like image pull secrets, that is a Sitecore Docker registry. So it is also not required, just I added that one if I want to like access the custom images. Okay, this is the one changes I done. And even if I go for the Redis one, the similar, the volume related stuff, I removed that one, put it the Windows, and I put this Redis one specific 10.1 I put it, like you can put it 10.1.1, and the same thing, volume related stuff I removed and I put it this one as a default. The same thing for the Solar also. If I see here, I put it the Windows and specific version of the non-production one, and the probe also I removed this one, volume and other stuff I removed, and just put this as a default for everyone. Okay, now so once, what is the meaning of the service and deployment is, so if I click on the services, so now I can see the 3 services, and on the deployment you can see the 3 deployments, MS SQL, Redis and Solar. If I want to check what is the services it created, these are all, and services or kget svc, some people will call the shortcut this way. If I see here, I can see my load balancer here. Okay, and I will take this one and open the SQL server. So what I see, this IP address I given here, and what about the password? This is the Sitecore database password, and I can copy it. This is the same secret we deployed there. SA is a username, and password I copied from there. So now it is connected. So now there is no databases. The next step is we will be going to be run the initialize one. So these are the initialize one, k apply -f and init. Okay, it will try to be run it. So what it done is, see, it created a job is created. Where I can see is click on the workloads and go to the jobs. 2 jobs are created. So for the jobs also nothing but of it will create a pod. So I will show that one. And if I go get pods, see, like this is the creating, this is the creating. Okay, the pods will be created. In the meantime, what I changes I will show. The first one is if I see the init, like I removed this one, and the second one is the MS SQL init. So it was there, I removed this one here, and another one is the image. Just I put the this is a version of the image, the init one. And I think apart from this one, I think nothing is changed. And coming to the Solar, and the same thing, we removed you can also keep it here, you can check that one, and but in my case I removed, and this is the like image I put it. I think there is no other change. Okay, let's go and run these pods, like get pods. So if I see this one, particularly for this one, what is happening is for the solar is completed. So you need to be wait not running, it jobs will be completed. Okay, this is completed, but what is happening for the init, it failed, again rerunning this one. So regarding to the jobs, if you see here, if I try to be refresh, one is completed. If it is not completed, it will try to be recreate another container and try to be retry run that. And how many times you need to be retry, you can also specify there. Okay, so there is some problem will be there. I will try to be check what problem was there with the previous one. Okay, try to be check here. Okay, you need to be logs, okay, logs, and you can specify the pod name. So this was the problem. It was saying that one can't open the database. This is the database they are saying that one. The simple solution is delete the init job, MS SQL and MS SQL the service, and try to recreate it. So first of all, okay, delete -f init MS SQL init job. I'm removing that one, and I'm also deleting the external MS SQL. So the deleted create external MS SQL server. It is created. Let's wait. Okay, services. Okay, it will resolve the IP. So new IP addresses generated. So try to be logged in with this. And after logged in, try to be create a new database, because this database is not creating part of the init, but it will try to be update the script on the top of that. Okay. Now after this, so try to be apply that init MS SQL. Okay. Can get pods. So this is creating. So now we will try to be see the logs f. So it will start executing. So now init job is successfully completed in this term. Like you can go and check get pods. You can see this init also completed, and previously completed a solar one. And if I coming here and refresh here, both are completed. Now you can go and check it here. Just try to be refresh. You can see all the databases. So this step is completed. Now we will be going to deploy all other service containers like the CD, CM, other things. So now we will go here. Okay, apply icon. I am putting a dot. Dot means in the current folder structure, whatever the YAML files are there, it will be going to deploy. So if you see this one, all containers are created. So if I go and check the pods now, so this is the one. So if I come in here to the AKS and click on the services at this service tab, you can see currently only 3. And if I click on this one, you can find all other services, just what we created now. And click on the workloads deployment, you can also still see these are all. So deployments and services are created. Now if you look into the pods here, and these are the pods are running now. And if you look into this one, like for example the CD, we have the status is the init, and 2 parts are there for, and the second part is the dependent pods. That means like this CD will be start after successfully completing all the pods of the dependents, and those should be healthy. Then only if you still look into this one, first part, 1 pod out of the 4, 1 pod is successfully completed, it is very healthy. Okay, wherever the init was there, it has some dependency. This will be defined inside the YAML file. And if you look into this one is expected and 1 is running. Sometimes if I want to increase the CD's count as a 2, this count will be the 2. Now currently everything is the 1, this is the 1. And coming to the YAML changes, this is the left hand side is the original and right hand side is the what I modified. I will quickly show that one. If I click on the CD, just image the path is changed, that one. If you see, this is a version, you can change what of the latest version, but that will be consistent for all the YAML files. And rest of the things what I deleted in the new modified one is the wherever the volume related stuff and anything is related to the resource stuff, that is what I removed that one. If I go into the CM, this is a change. and go to the Cortex. This is a change. I will quickly click on the each one. You can see the difference actually. The right hand side, the latest one. Okay, these are the changes I done that one. So let's go and check that again, kget pods. So now if you see here, the all are running, okay, including the series. Now you can't check the CM directly by the browsing. The reason is the domain resolution will happen in the ingress, so you can't do that one. But there is another way you can check the CD that I will do that now. For example, if I want to check the CDK port forward and specify the CD, and the port I will give that 199, my local port, pointing to the pod port 80. So if I click on this one, indirectly what I'm doing is all my local 999 traffic goes to the pod. So I will go here, HTTP localhost and 999. So now it is series up and working. Next is resolve the custom domains and SSL certificates. So first one is the SSL certificates. If I see the secrets, TLS staging, we require the two files for the SSL, CRT and key. The CRT starts with the begin certificate and key starts with the begin private key. This is a private key. So we require these two. Most of the Azure app services, we will deploy the PFX with the password. You maybe have those two. If you have those two PFX and password, you can use this OpenSSL to generate the private key and certificate. If you already have Happy, otherwise you can use this one. This OpenSSL, you can download this site. Everyone knows this one. And after that one, try to give input as a PFX and some output file. And once you run this command, it will ask the password. Once you enter the password, the output file will be generated. So within this one, if you see, within this file, you have the private key and you have the certificate, both. So you can also copy paste here. This is the SSL. This SSL will be configured in the customization. These two file paths already referred here. This is the grouping one. So this staging TLS will be configured in the ingress. Next one is the custom domains. And if I look into this ingress changes, and this configuration and customization I deleted, and in the ingress also I am using the different version. This is the different version. As for this one, the changes will be the, if I see, previously single service port, but it will be divided like this one. Okay, this ingress also I am deploying on the staging. And if I see the SSL configuration, this is the SSL configuration to resolve the custom domains. And the custom domains for the CDCM, just I changed, previously it was the CD global host. I am using mine. So I am using the 3 custom domains, and the certificate is a single. So if you look into this one, certificate, this is the multi-domain certificate. Single certificate will resolve multiple domains. I purchased this one and custom domains for my demo. The next one is the sequence of the installation. The first one, we will deploy the secrets. The next one is we need to deploy the create ng index. And after this one, you need to install the actual ingress. Okay. If I want to deploy this one, it is using the Helm, and that will be installed here. So to replace the 3 and 4, I am using another YAML file, that is this one. I will give this path in the description. And if I look into the kind, the first one, it will try to create this namespace and try to deploy all these kinds inside that one. Next, I will directly deploy this, whatever my custom changes of the ingress. Okay, let's start. First, I am deploying all the secrets. You can also do the specific SSL one, but I am deploying all. Next, I am deploying this YAML. So k apply -f and this YAML. So if I see, these are all, it will deploy this. This step created the new namespace and deployed everything inside that. So next, I am deploying the actual my solution ingress. So this ingress is created. Now, if you coming to the click on the services and ingress, you can see newly created Sitecore ingress in the namespace of the staging. And these are the domains. These are the custom domains I configured. and this is the public IP pointing to this one. I already updated this public IP address pointing to these custom domains. You can see here. Just I will these are the custom domains. I am clicking where it is pointing this one 9758. That is what this one. Now you can click on here the Monaga the online. This is the CD. You can see here it is working fine. Now if you click the SSL valid, this is the one where you can see the certificate here. This is the right certificate, and clicking on this one, clicking on the CM, and I will type as a Sitecore, and it is redirecting to the ID server, and even you can see the valid certificate is there. So, and admin, I will get the Sitecore password from this Sitecore admin. That is a secret. It will be there, and it redirecting to the CM also valid certificate. Now you can just see and move into the content editor. Everything is working fine. The last one is if you want to view the structure of the particular pod, or you want to access specific file from the pod, how do you do that one? Now I will show the command. So if I go for the get pod, I want to access the CD. I'm copying this one and K exe execute and -it. I am giving the pod name and saying the PowerShell. So this will be directly open and log into the pod here. If I see here the local structure, you can see here direct. These are the pod, the structure of the C drive. So if I want to access to the particularly inetpub and www-root, this is the where you can see the structure of the Sitecore CD, and you want to see the logs. There was the you can access this one and get the specific file also. Okay, thanks for watching.